Hi guys, I know if you are an adamant follower, if you are a subscriber to this channel, you know that last week on Friday, I didn't post a video. I always post every Monday, every Wednesdays, and every Fridays, but last Friday I didn't post a video. Something so unfortunate, something that destroyed my mood happened. I was like, when I look at this camera, I'm maintaining eye contact with you guys. This is the camera that I always look at, but when I look at this, I'm looking at myself, and this is where I can know that the camera is recording or it's not recording. So me, I maintained eye contact the whole of the video. Unfortunately, my camera was not recording. I didn't record a video. I talked for 20 minutes and I didn't record anything. So when I finished, I realized that I wasn't recording. I just closed my camera and went to sleep. I didn't have strength to talk for another 20 minutes. So I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna try and post 4 videos this week to replace the video that I didn't post last week. So yeah, that's what happened to me. It was so unfortunate, but anyway, let's get started with this video. If you're new here, my name is Melly Albert and I use my own recovery from severe sensitization, severe anxiety and chronic depression to help others who are still struggling. So if you're new here, can you kindly subscribe? And if you have been watching for a very long time, for some time now, and you have not subscribed, can you kindly comment down below why you have not subscribed to this channel? I'm a big girl. I can take it. So kindly, I urge you to subscribe. When I post a new video, if you feel like you get values in these videos, why not? Like, kindly hit that subscription button. Anytime I post a new video, anytime I'm live, you'll be able to get notified. Otherwise, let's get started into this video. If you are struggling with health anxiety or just general anxiety, probably at one time you have Googled your symptoms. Google, for anxiety sufferers, Google can become an addiction because, the easiest thing to do right now in the current world, everyone has a smartphone, and maybe you have been to the doctors a couple of times. My parents used to have a very good insurance, so I visited really good hospitals. There are two types of people. There are someone who maybe they have done all tests, everything has been cleared out by the doctor, and they still don't believe that what they're struggling with is anxiety. Then there are people who at the back of their mind they know it's anxiety, but they still can't believe that it is anxiety, because the anxiety symptoms, the physical symptoms, the dizziness, the heart palpitations, the weakness, the intrusive thoughts are so real to believe that it is only anxiety. So maybe you have been to the hospitals a couple of times, everything is being cleared, every time you go everything is just clear, and then the next thing you do is you pull out your smartphone because the doctors are saying everything is clear. You pull out your smartphone and you start googling your symptoms. Googling is an addiction that keeps anxiety sufferers stuck in the anxiety cycle. So we want to talk about everything concerning googling, why you should stop googling your symptoms immediately after this video, and how Google keeps you stuck in the anxiety cycle. So if googling your symptoms is something that you struggle with, make sure to watch this video up to the end. Let me tell you guys, Google made my life a living hell. Google is one. If you want to, there are so many ways to stay stuck in the anxiety cycle, and googling, there are so many ways, avoiding life, resisting your symptoms, fighting your symptoms, and googling. When I look back, Google is one of the main reasons why I stayed stuck with anxiety for 6 years, because Google provides some sort of reassurance. Google has two ways. Sometimes it can provide some sort of reassurance. You just want to look, because maybe with your anxiety, maybe you have thought that it's always cancer. You are in these Facebook groups, you are in these forums, you are in these support groups that are like the blind leading the blind. No one is really offering a solution. It's just like, who is struggling with migraines? Yes, I've struggled with that for a while. Who is struggling with heart palpitations? I've struggled with these heart palpitations for a while, but no one is really offering a solution in this support group. So I always tell people to avoid support groups when struggling with anxiety. Those support groups kind of even trigger your anxiety, because you hear someone say that someone once struggled with this intense heart palpitations, someone once struggled with these feelings of unreality, and they don't believe that someone can recover from all this, and you get triggered. Once you get triggered, when you hear even like someone died of a heart palpitation, someone just randomly writes anything. These support groups, they are full of people from all over, like people struggling with anything. So someone just writes someone died of heart palpitation. That one has triggered you. You go to the hospital because in your mind you believe that, okay, maybe what if you're the next person to die of heart palpitations? You go, ECG is done, echo is done, everything is done, you're doing the body scan, the head scan, the doctor still insists there's nothing wrong with you. So are you seeing the way support groups kind of reinforce the anxiety cycle? So I always tell guys, can you kindly avoid support groups. So Google goes two ways. It's a safety behavior, it's a form of reassurance seeking. Maybe you just want to confirm that you don't have cancer, you don't have stroke, you're not going to have a heart attack. And when you do this every time, you will find that it can provide some sort of short-term relief. Maybe you are just confirming if it's not cancer, if it's not, if it's not a stroke, if it's not a heart attack, and that reassurance always doesn't pass 20 minutes. You will find that even after Googling, you still have the urge of Googling. You're still Googling, and you wonder what is wrong. It's because you are not sitting with the discomfort. A big component of anxiety is sitting with uncertainty, sitting with discomfort. So with Googling, you can't sit with this discomfort because you always know that I can just always Google my symptoms, and Google gives me a solution. Google gives me some relief. So you end up Googling, and your brain always craves. It ends up that your brain will always crave for that relief. So you end up going to Google. You can't sit with uncertainty. So your brain keeps on craving for you to Google to find relief. Another thing that Google does is that Google can, there is one part where it can create some sort of relief, it can create some form of reassurance. Then there is this part where you Google your symptoms and you find out that, Google tells you like, you are going to have a heart attack. Those are signs of cancer, those are signs of stroke, and you stress. When you stress, you worry. And when you worry, anxiety ramps up. So Google can also create stress to your tired nervous system, because when you Google your symptoms and Google tells you that those are signs of stroke, of course you're gonna stress up. And when you stress, you worry, and when you worry, anxiety ramps up. So you end up staying in this cycle for a very long time. Stay off Google when struggling with anxiety. Once you have been to the doctors, because I believe by the time you're watching my videos, you have been to a couple of doctors. When they say that all tests are being done, when you go to the hospital, the doctor says, okay, because you have come, let's see what is wrong with you. They do a series of tests. If it's everything you ask for, they scan your body, they scan your head, they do ECG, they do echo, everything is clear. And that's the person that I want to be watching this video. Don't diagnose yourself using this video. Don't diagnose yourself using random videos on the internet. The best person to diagnose you is by a doctor, because they are professionals. They are trained to see if something is wrong with you. The doctor's job is only to look at if something is wrong with you physically. When there is nothing wrong with you physically, when it's anxiety, because anxiety is mental, they will not find anything. So you'll find that you feel neglected by the doctors, because most of them don't even give people attention. When they see there's nothing wrong with you, they're just like but you feel these real heart palpitations, you feel like you're gonna die, because those symptoms are so scary, they are not fun. So you feel this, the dizziness, the heart palpitations, you feel, the intense DPDR, and no one gets to understand you. It's because in the doctor's eyes, you're very healthy, and indeed you're very healthy. It's just anxiety, which is mental. It's a stress response that activates the fight or flight response. The fight or flight response is a response that helps you in detecting danger. It's the response that helps you know whether you're supposed to fight a threat or flee from a threat. And when that response is activated, it causes all the symptoms that you're having, the emotions, the physical symptoms, the mental, the intrusive thoughts, everything that you're struggling with is caused by the fight or flight response. That's why when you visit the doctors, I don't know how many times, they never find anything that is wrong with you, because you're very healthy. There's nothing wrong with you. When someone is anxious, when an individual is panicky, your brain is always looking for a threat. You're scared. You end up Googling your symptoms. And have you ever found out that when your brain will always find the answers that it's looking for? Maybe you have seen the symptoms of cancer. Now you start having breathlessness, which was not there. You start having tingling, you start having the pins and needles, you start noticing symptoms that you never had before, just because you have Googled. Have you noticed that thing? That's how Google keeps you stuck with anxiety. When Googling your symptoms, you might think that you are helping yourself maybe get some short-term relief, but really it's sending a wrong signal to the brain, because you're proving to the brain that really there is a threat. And when you have proved to the brain that there is a threat, it releases the part of the brain called the amygdala, releases stress hormones, the cortisol and the adrenaline, and when it keeps pumping those stress hormones to your body, you end up having intense physical symptoms that you're looking for solutions for. Let me tell you how health anxiety works, because most people who struggle with this Google addiction are health anxiety sufferers. So when you have health anxiety causes the bodily sensation. The bodily sensation can be heart palpitations, which is one of the most common symptoms of anxiety. Anxiety causes the bodily sensation, and the brain produces a catastrophic thought. What if it's a heart attack? What if I'm gonna die from this? Then your mind believes that thought. When your mind believes that thought, you start panicking, like, now what should I do? What if I die from this? What if it's something else? Your mind has believed that thought. You are now panicking, and when you panic, you take inspired action. Now when you end up googling your symptoms, you end up seeking reassurance from the doctors. What you always do, can you kindly comment down below your form of reassurance seeking, whether it's going to the hospitals, whether it's checking your blood pressure, whether it's using your heart monitor, whether it's googling. Can you kindly comment down below? So Google keeps you stuck in the anxiety cycle. I struggled with anxiety for 6 years, and I know how Google works. I know how Google can make one's life a living hell. If you are struggling with Googling, I know it's an addiction, but kindly delay the urge. Sit with the uncertainty, sit with the discomfort. Nothing will happen to you. It's just your brain craving, and you'll never stop Googling. Once you start Googling and you are not ready to stop, you will never stop, because your brain keeps craving the short-term relief, because now you have proved to it that you can't sit with the discomfort. You have proved to yourself that you can't sit with the uncertainty. And one of the components of recovering from anxiety is sitting with the uncertainty. You don't need to control anything. You have never been in control of anything. You feel like you are controlling something by you checking your blood pressure, checking your heart monitor, Google your symptoms, but in reality, you are not controlling anything. So sit with the uncertainty, sit with the discomfort, and let go of Google, because it's keeping you stuck. If you have watched up to this point, make sure to like, make sure to thumbs up to this video, make sure to comment. If there's anything that you like me to talk about, can you comment down below? Share to those who may need this video, and subscribe to this channel. If you feel like you need guidance, if you feel like you need extra guidance, you need to understand what is happening, why you are having these symptoms, why you are stuck, the unproductive patterns that are keeping you stuck with anxiety, use this WhatsApp to message me, use this email to reach out to me. I help people overcome anxiety disorders permanently. We look into your specific situation and see exactly what has been keeping you stuck with anxiety for such a long time. If you want to fasten your recovery and you are tired of figuring out everything on your own, kindly use this WhatsApp, use this email to reach out to me. Because honestly, I know you have tried everything. By the time you're watching this video, you have tried everything and anything to try and help you with anxiety, but it is not working. The only way out of the anxiety cycle is the natural way. Nothing else works, because I tried everything. I spent thousands of shillings in trying to cure my anxiety, but nothing ever worked. The only way that helped me is the natural way. So if you need someone to guide you out of the anxiety cycle, kindly message me using this number. Otherwise, let's meet on the next video. Bye.